it's Holly here from Your Past is a Gift. And so, continuing on with judgment. And our beliefs around things. So in this video, I wanted to talk about my feelings around God. When we started going to church and we were introduced to God by the church, and we were taught that God was this wonderful supreme being, okay, up in the sky, but he was separate to us. And all through the teachings, we were taught that we were beneath him, that we weren't good enough to be in his presence. Now, talking about beliefs and how you create judgments because of these, my whole life, for the longest time, I was so angry about this teaching because in my mind, God is my creator. Like, he made me. And it wasn't until I had my child that I thought nothing she does makes me feel disgusted that she's mine. Nothing that she does makes me feel ashamed or embarrassed of who she is. You know, day by day, I watch her grow and I watch her imagination expand and the things she comes up with, and I fall in love with her more and more and more every day. And it wasn't until I had her that in my mind, everything about God shifted, because I thought to myself, how can God not be looking down at us and be absolutely amazed at what we can do? You know, what we're capable of who we actually are as human beings. How can he not be in awe of everything? Because that's how I am with her, and I made her with my husband, you know. I always think of it that way. We made her, we created her together, you know. Well, God's created us. So why would there be these feelings of judgment towards us? You know, that we're not good enough, or that we disgust him in some way, or, you know. Also growing up in church, I had to listen to, many times they'd have these teachings, you know, about people that fall in love with the same sex. You know, that the right way is for a male and a female. They match up, they fall in love, they get married. You know, that's the way it is. That's the right way. And so many times I had to sit there as a child in church and listen to them talk about when the same sex falls in love, say a female with a female or a male with a male, that it's an abomination in the eyes of God. Now, that word abomination was the first time I'd been introduced to that word, but to me it's such a harsh word. You know, how can you say that about a human being? And I would sit there and I would feel so crushed, you know, and I didn't have intentions either way at this stage, you know, but just thinking, if I was that person, then you're telling me that I'm an abomination in the eyes of my creator. You know, I just felt squashed as a human being. I just thought, how can you say that? You know, then it's no different. It doesn't matter which way I decide to go in my life. You know, he's still my creator. And I can't imagine that he would love me any less because, you know, of who I choose to fall in love with or who I choose to be as a person. So I want you to really think about that now. If you were one of those people, as I'm talking 40 years ago, we had to put up with these conversations in church. And in church, we weren't allowed to question anything. We weren't allowed to, you know, doubt what they were teaching us. We just had to take it as that's the way it is. That's the way God thinks or feels towards us. But, you know, after I've had my daughter, especially, you know, as a creator, when you create life and you look at this life evolve, how can you be anything but in awe of what you've created, regardless of which way this being goes, or regardless of what it wants to do in its life, you know, or what she wants to be, or or who she falls in love with, or what she wants to do with her body. It's her body. You know, eventually what she does is her choice. But I can't. How can you love that any less? You know, if there's no judgment there, if there's no judgment, you're just accepting this person as they are. How can there be anything but love? And so I put it to you today, if you were, you know, one of these people sitting in church over 40 years ago, and this is what you had to listen to over and over, week after week, you know, from Sunday to Sunday, all these horrible teachings of, you know, if you don't follow the right way, you're an abomination to God and you go to hell and the devil will take care of you there, you know? And to top it off, right, only Christians, only the people that are in that church, that have been baptized and all that, are the ones that get to go to heaven. And my dad's an atheist. So in my mind, you know, there was no human being in this world that was more beautiful than my dad, that was more love, that was more just perfect in every way, you know, of what love looks like in the world. And I couldn't, as a child, understand why this person, this being, would be rejected by God. I couldn't understand it just because he didn't have a little bit of holy water sprinkled on his forehead as a baby, you know? So many things. The problem with my mind is that I've always questioned. Maybe I didn't, you know, vocalize it then. Maybe I didn't say anything because we weren't allowed to in church. We just had to take it as what they were teaching was the right way. But my mind was always spinning with questions. You know, that can't be right. I used to think to myself, that can't be right. You know, and then they teach you that animals aren't allowed into heaven. Dogs don't go to heaven. All these things, you know, I think they're so funny because they're all spirits. So why can't we all go to the same place? Why are we, as Christians, better than animals or better than atheists or better than everybody else that doesn't follow that religion or that teaching or that, you know, why are we an exclusive club that we get to go into this wonderful place and no one else is allowed? It doesn't make sense. Anyway, and to be honest, as a kid, I didn't want to go anywhere that my dad wasn't allowed to go when I died. I thought, well, if he's not allowed in there, I don't want to go either. I don't want to go up there without him, you know. But beliefs. It's so important for you to start thinking, because I could have taken all that on and been miserable my whole life that I'm going to heaven because I'm a Catholic and my dad doesn't get to go. I won't see him when I die. I'll never see him again, according to them, because he'll be going to hell. He doesn't believe in God. He doesn't believe in the church. He's not Catholic. And so I'd never see him again when I passed away, if I believed what they taught me. I'll see Mum, because she's a devout Catholic, but I won't see Dad. So I want you to think about that today. How much of what they've said to you, whether it's the church or whether it's your parents, doesn't matter. How much is really, really, really true? How much of it do you believe in your heart is true? And I can tell you for a fact that something that is not true will make you feel bad inside. When I thought of God as separate to me, I was angry because why am I not equal to him? He made me. I don't see my daughter as less than me. She's equal. She's from me. She's a part of me. Why is she less than what I am? Then why am I less than him? Why can't I be as good? Especially as a child where you haven't done anything wrong. You don't know anything. You're just learning about the world. You're so innocent. How can a child not be equal? You know? I don't understand it. Why, you know, this teaching of we're less and we're not good enough. Anyway, think about that today. You know, think about these beliefs that you've created, you know, or that have been passed on to you and they've been said to you many times. But now they're stuck in there. I want you to really look at them. Because when something is true, like when I decided to accept that I am connected to God, You know, I'm not separate from him. We are connected by energy, by an energy. And that, so's my dad, and so's my mum, and so's my dog, and so's my daughter. And my husband's also atheist. But I truly believe the day I go, not only will I meet my creator, but I will be with my husband and I will be with my dad as well as my mum. I'm not going to a different place. These are my beliefs. And when I think of them, they lift me up. They fill my heart with joy and peace. And that's how I know it's true. It's the truth. Your feelings will always tell you what's true and what's a lie. So think about that today. You know, have you taken on beliefs that they've given you and have made you angry or sad? You know, that same belief that we're separate from God and that we're not good enough to be in his presence could make you sad as well. Go through life sad, that you're nothing. You know, because that's how it made you feel, that you're nothing, that you're worthless. So think about that today. Think about it, really think about it. Okay, my darlings, remember to click like and subscribe below so you don't miss any of the messages. And please feel free to comment. I'm always happy to hear from you and to hear what your thoughts are. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.